Claude Moraes MEP, Chair of the Civil Liberties Committee. You called for a suspension of Safe Harbour in 2013. Do you feel vindicated by the court's recent decision?
I think the European Parliament feels fully vindicated. We warned about Safe Harbour. We said Safe Harbour was not only unsafe, but it was the sensible and immediate thing to do to sort it out, because you're dealing with businesses, you're dealing with consumers, you're dealing with valuable information. They didn't do anything, and now we have this impasse, and I think the judgment is so severe, the judgment is unambiguous, and now we have a situation where it's not the big companies, the Googles and the Facebooks, who will find it difficult to comply. It's many of the medium-sized companies who will be in great difficulty. It's citizens who now will really suffer because there will be so much uncertainty. And instead of all the work going on since 2013 to have a framework, particularly on the US side, that was corrected, we're now going to have this uncertainty. So we want to see the Commission immediately, because we want to see a strategy, not just legal, but political, because we feel that the United States has to come up with a framework which is worthy of the high standards of data protection which are being developed here in the European Union. And we have to have transparency. Exactly what are the discussions which are going on between the EU and the US? The European Parliament needs to see that. We feel vindicated in asking for this because we played a very constructive role, a very knowing role in this. We have many members who have a detailed knowledge of this area, and we expected this case to happen somewhere along the line. The fact that it's happened through this very dramatic way, really gives a lot of attention to Safe Harbour, but it was inevitable.
What do you think? Will there be some unforeseen consequences? Will there be knock-on effects on other data protection related issues such as passenger information and TTIP?
You really put your finger on it when you say that there will be unintended consequences and consequences for so many other agreements. We're looking at TTIP, we're looking at issues of passenger name records. And this is why you need stability here. This is why the Commission needs to act, but also the US needs to act, because there may be these knock-on effects. Our committee is involved with not just one commissioner, but 3, 4, possibly even 5. And we're saying to all of them, look, don't be complacent here, because if you think it's just Safe Harbour, you think it's just, the Facebooks and the Googles. No, actually, it's also very sensitive security type information which may ultimately be affected by this. This is what we said today in committee. I think that's accurate. As chair, I would say this is again one of the worries that I've had since 2013. And I think for that multidisciplinary approach now to be urgent. This is what we'll be saying to Commissioner Jourova, who's the central commissioner involved, but she's not the only one. We have the digital commissioners, we have a whole business and consumer interface. So urgency is the key. This is what I called for today. But we need a plan also from the United States. I mean, a huge onus now on the United States to stop being in denial and to actually say, look, this is a big commercial area. It's about people's livelihoods, it's about jobs. And we now know that the big law firms are taking this very seriously. They're looking at how businesses are going to cope. So we're in the real world here. This is not about theory, it's about the real world. And for that reason, I want us to be realistic now and to work together as a team to get this Safe Harbour fixed. And that will require teamwork and it will require urgency.